should I spend all the time this month to take a creator, our main creator, to a projected 20K and then repeat with a second? Or should I get horizontal now, get more creators and try to mitigate the risk, right? And for that, just I can speak from experience here. There's two things we need to take care of. Oh shit, I thought my question was one of the retarded ones. It really isn't. It really isn't. That's a smart question because that's exactly what we've been talking about so far. And the first thing that I want to clarify is what risk, right? I mean, okay, what risk could we possibly have by purely focusing on our best creator? Well, yeah, if she leaves, you're there without revenue. Cool, that can happen, right? But she wouldn't be a top creator if there was a real risk of leaving. If she tells you every second day, like, ah, fuck this agency, I'm out, then you have to convince to get her back, you shouldn't scale her anyway, right? So I'll just answer this question assuming there is no risk of her leaving you outside of you just fucking up, right? So you mitigate the risk by having the systems we talked about, right? The check-in systems with the creators, giving her bi-weekly reports, making sure she's happy, making sure she's taken care of, acting professional, right? Being in communication. So this is how you mitigate the risk, first of all. And otherwise, there's no reason she will leave you. Of course, yeah, you could have like 10 creators now, and if one of them leaves, cool. But the real risk, and this is like kind of the smooth transition I wanted to do, the real risk is not figuring out a system to scale creators to 20K at least consistently. Like, you need to figure this out anyway. But my answer is go deep before you go wide, which again, context is a thing, guys, if you just joined. All right. But what are you going to do with the other creators? Because unless you have a system, and listen, this is the thing. One sec, let me take my snooze in because this is going to be very, very valuable answer. If you remember the last calls, I was bringing up a McDonald's example at least a few times because McDonald's grew so fucking fast. Bro, you can go to Iraq right now. There's at least one McDonald's at the airport. Why? It's not because in the beginning they were like, well, if we open up 5 restaurants, if one goes bankrupt, we still have the other ones. Maybe they would have survived a bit longer in the worst case, but ultimately they would have never expanded because they would have spent the next 10 years trying to keep 5 restaurants at the same time alive and raise all of the standards at the same time. The reason McDonald's is a household name and every single one of you knows McDonald's and eats McDonald's is because they perfected it once, and then with 10% effort, they could just open 20 more stores across the country because, well, this is how we do the burgers, this is how we hire, this is how the restaurant looks cool. Copy paste here and again and again and again. Then they got it out to franchisees. So focus on the one creator going to 20K 100%. Build a franchise. Build a franchise system. You're always going to be a bit individual, sure. But right now you're running one agency and you can just create that system, perfectionize it, and then put it all on the other creators. But what you don't want to have is that you onboard like 2 or 3 more creators, and now you're trying to perfect 3 different systems at a time, and now you're running 3 agencies with like 1/3 of the revenue, right? So this is what we're trying to mitigate. And this is the real risk, right? So focus on the one creator, set up the systems so she's happy, retention systems of the creator, right? You know what I'm talking about. And you have very little risk, for real. Like creators leaving, there's always going to be some. I'll argue you know very early when a creator is about to leave. And even if you don't, it was your fault. Like I remember every creator that's left our agency, and in every single case, either I saw it coming anyway, or I didn't see it coming, but afterwards I was like, well, yeah, I should have seen that, of course. Or, well, I didn't follow my own principles. I didn't do this, and this. So of course she left, right? There is no reason, like creators don't just leave randomly. That's like a cautionary tale that agencies always say, oh, my creator left. No, it's not like, oh, my creator left me. It's, well, I didn't communicate with her for a week. She didn't do content for, let's say, like an entire month. And then I was surprised she left. No, why are you surprised? Of course she was, right? So just to kind of give that as an answer, right? Keep one creator and then build a pipeline in parallel. And after this month, once you hit the 20K, you can start building up a pipeline, document everything that you're doing. This is all worthless if you don't document it and just kind of YOLO your way into it and hit 20 grand. You're still at place 1. You make more money, but you still don't know anything. So document everything that you're doing, split test them as much as possible, actually build a system. Don't just like put in and get money out. And then you can just put that on next creator, right? Welcome messages. If you split test 10 welcome messages now, next creator, you can just pick the best one. Easy, right? You already saved yourself another round of testing instead of just testing on all profiles at the same time. Because you're, especially at your stage, Noah, I know where you are and I know like how your life looks like. At your stage, time is your biggest resource. And that should be spent on the one thing that brings you the most result out of the time that you spent, right? Especially at that stage, because you need to do so many things manually. Once you hit like 300 grand, I mean, you can just offload it to like the employees, cool. But especially at your time, at your place, your time should be spent on one thing and one thing only at the time. Makes sense.